again, welcome the last few people that have joined in the last couple of minutes. Thank you all for joining our Silversea event today. And Jennifer was just basically saying a few seconds ago that she was very happy because Silversea had finally hired her replacement, but that's not because she's going anywhere. She's actually recently joined this position as strategic account manager for luxury cruise connections for us. So she's basically our contact with Silversea at a very high level that helps us get a lot of our stuff done and helps us really kind of take care of our clients at a much higher level. Jennifer, did I introduce you correctly? Did I state your title correctly, or did I miss something?
Nope, I think you got it just right.
Excellent. And Jennifer, can you share with our audience a little bit about you, kind of, not your entire resume, but where you come from and what you do for Silversea, really?
I am, as of August, I became the senior director for key accounts, and I managed at the high level, our top partners, one of them and one of the very top being Luxury Cruise Connections. Prior to that, I was the area sales director managing all of the accounts in the West, in the greater Los Angeles, Northern California, Colorado, Nevada, Utah area. I've been in the industry for almost 18 years, which is pretty remarkable. A good long time, only have been with 2 companies. So I've learned a lot in this time, and I am so excited about Silversea and the future and where we're headed.
Well, Jennifer, as you share this, I realized that I did misstate your title. And I said strategic accounts, and the real is a key account, and I said manager when you're really senior director. That's
Yes.
I completely mislabeled it. But at the end of the day, can you share with our audience what that means? What does being a key account mean to Silversea, and a little bit about the relationship that we have with Silversea and you?
With the key accounts, we are part of what we call national accounts, and these are our top partners, the top producers, the ones that are really connected to us, and we're connected to them. We communicate daily, and we're able to give Carlos and the team specials, and we can work together on promotions to help you get the very best fares with Silversea. So it's an immediate connection to the top and an immediate connection to the very best that we have to offer by way of itineraries and promotions. We grow and we manage the growth and marketing.
So Jennifer joined this position not too long ago. Obviously, we've been having an incredible relationship with Silversea for many, many years. But since Jennifer joined, it was immediate, chemistry. She moves at the speed that we move, or probably even faster. She gets stuff done, which we like because it helps us really take care of our clients. And we not only love her and the relationship, but also the results have definitely proven themselves, because our business with Silversea has grown quite a bit. And we're extremely happy with the relationship. And so a quick intro on myself. I am Carlos Edery, and I'm the CEO of Luxury Cruise Connections. For those of you that know our company, this might sound a little repetitive, but some of you might not know really who we are. And we are a luxury cruise agency. We're based in Miami, Florida, and we focus on high-end cruises. We call ourselves a luxury cruise agency, not necessarily because of the product that we sell, meaning the cruise lines that we promote, but because of how we provide service and what we believe in terms of what planning a vacation needs to be like. And we believe that luxury service is all about getting to know our clients, getting to establish relationships, and becoming experts at the client, right? Our team, they're incredibly versed on the different ships and cruise lines and destinations and ports and all of that. But that's easy to teach, right? At the end of the day, what we really strive to become is experts at our clients, getting to know our clients to a point where we can really be advisors and not just travel agents, right? It's kind of the biggest difference that we constantly preach about is our ability to understanding, Sonia likes this, and this is why we recommend this option for you. And goes very much in hand with our core values of always doing what's right for our client. And we love dealing with Silversea precisely also because of that, because they share those same values that we have in terms of doing what's right for the client, being very customer friendly, being easy to do business with, and most importantly, exceeding expectations. And that's I think what both of our companies are all about. What do you think about that, Jennifer? Did I explain it?
Perfection.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
Good. And with us, I also have Denise Pomeranc. She's our marketing manager, senior marketing product manager, product marketing manager. Denise, can you make me host, please, real quick, so that I can send some polls through? For those that have joined previous events, you've done this before, but I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping items as we get started. When we start these events, we like to know a little bit about our audience, who's with us. So we're going to do stuff like this little pop-up that you just saw on your screen. Have you sailed with Silversea before? Helps us understand who's in the audience, and how to best cater the conversation so that we keep everybody entertained. I'm gonna push a couple of these questions throughout kind of our introductory time of this conversation. You should also know that this is not a typical webinar, right? And this is important for you guys to know this. We don't like the typical webinar format where you join in and there's a presentation that we're sharing and nobody gets to see each other. We like this very kind of down to earth, very somewhat unstructured Zoom presentation, Zoom calls, right? Everybody can see each other. You guys can chat with each other. You guys can share experiences. You guys can communicate. There's a chat box at the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and say hello, and you're going to see a little pop-up. And Sonia said hi from Toronto. How you doing, Sonia? And Steve, one of our senior advisors, also commented there. So that's where you would type a lot of your questions. It's as we talk, as we go through the conversation, questions will come up. And so that's a great place for you guys to type it. And then at the end of the conversation, I'm going to go through every single one of those questions, read every single one, and have Jennifer answer them, or me, or whoever the question's for. And also, it's an opportunity for you guys to share experiences at the end as well. So we will be able to open up the mics and have you guys, ask live questions as well. Regarding have you ever sailed with Silversea before? I see that 67% of you have not. 33% of you have, which is great. I'm just sharing those results with you guys. That is great because that means, we have 67% of you that are going to be delighted to hear what you're going to hear, and 33% of you that hopefully you're going to get a chance to hear some of the new stuff going on with Silversea also, especially with the Nova that just came out. We're going to talk about that too later today. And I'm going to send one more question right now. Have you ever done business with Luxury Cruise Connections before? That's another thing I want to know. I recognize many of your names and some of your faces. So, thank you for those loyal Luxury Cruise Connections guests that continue to do business with us and trust us with your most precious asset, which is your free time. So thank you. And for those that haven't done business with us, hopefully this will be an opportunity for you to learn a little bit about what we do, how we do business, how we deal with our clients. And if you feel there's chemistry, then hopefully an opportunity for you to meet one of our advisors and start doing, start letting us take care of your travel. So far, I see that 43% of you have not done business with us before, and 57% of you have. So thank you again for those that replied yes. We love you. Thank you. And for those that replied no, we also love you. And I'm sure we'll love you more when we get to know each other better. Without any further ado, I want to kind kind of just get started straight up with, a little bit of a Silversea and your what are your hallmarks as a brand and what sets Silversea apart from every other cruise line? I want to kind of start the conversation with that.
I think the hallmarks of our brand are really destination. We want to travel deeper. We want to take the guests deeper into a region of the world that is often less traveled. We're going to places where we're often one ship of one instead of one ship of many. So we're able to really get into that destination, unique destination, superior service. Of course, the intimacy of the ships is really important. We carry no more than 728 guests. So the ships all live in that space of 100 to 728 guests. Exceptional cuisine. I know when I go on vacation, that's the very first thing that I look at. What am I going to eat? And we've got local cuisine on some of our ships, down to the port level. Beautiful experiences off the ship as well, with immersive enrichment, going to some of these beautiful, iconic destinations and visiting their iconic tours and doing some of these things that some of the other cruise lines maybe aren't looking at as well.
And I want to kind of go a little bit deeper in that conversation about cuisine. When you say that you have local, you source, I guess you provide local cuisine experiences down to the port level. Can you expand a little bit more on that?
Sure, I'd love to talk about food. And our program called SALT, Sea and Land Taste, is just that. It's got a beautiful restaurant where the guests can go and dine and eat food that is local to that port of call. There are two menus in SALT. One is for the region, and one is for the actual port of call. So when I sailed in Athens, for example, we had food in Mykonos and it was terrific. And then that night we came back on board and there were some items that I had tasted during the day on the menu. The next day when we were in Crete, we had food the way that it's made in Crete. It differs, and there's it goes down to that granular level, right? So we're changing the menu every day. You're trying things that are local to this destination and to this region by way of food, and of course also drink that goes along with it. We've got the Salt Bar where you can try the local libations. You can try the local wines and spirits and beers from that port of call. So a very cool way to experience. And for me, to say that we're at the destination even when you're on the ship, I think that's really important.
I think that's extremely important because, at least for me and my family, it's the same thing, right? When we travel, I think one of the main reasons we travel for is the food, right? We want, like, tasting local cuisine makes a huge part of getting to know that destination. Sometimes more so than just go visiting a local museum, right? And so I love that. I absolutely do. Before we go on with this presentation, I want to remind everybody that this is being recorded. I'm sure you got the little message when you joined the Zoom call. Know that this is meant for you to, you're going to get a follow-up email from this event tomorrow, where you're going to have a link to so you can rewatch the event if you want to, but also that you can share it with your friends and family. And it's important to know that we want to obviously, share the message with as many people as possible. And we also prepared a little gift, a little event exclusive promotion for those that are watching the event, whether it is live or recorded, as long as it's within a certain period of time. And we're going to talk more about that in a minute. But moving on, so we're talking about cuisine and destination-driven cuisine, but then I think it's important to understand where the Silversea traveled to. So for that, I do have a slide that you shared with me, but you can, if you can start kind of talking about where the Silversea travel, I can then share this in the meantime.
Yep, we have 12 beautiful ships. My short elevator is always, we travel to the most beautiful destinations around the world, 900 of them. Antarctica, the Arctic, and everything in between. The in-between is the Galapagos, which is our only year-round destination. Other than that, the 11 other ships follow the sun. So we're in the best place to be at the very best time to be there. We've got as local as you can get. I like to call them my local destinations, the Caribbean, Canada, New England, which is an incredible destination. We've added 6 voyages in the summer to Canada, New England. Lovely time to be there. Of course, we also have Alaska. And then after that, we visit some of the most beautiful places in Asia. We've got a circumnavigation of Japan. We've got a circumnavigation of Australia. We do the Arctic with our expeditions, Antarctica with the expeditions, and some wild expeditions there in between, and everything else that you can imagine in the South Pacific and the Mediterranean.
Excellent. And what is your favorite destination? And by the way, as Jennifer is sharing this, I want to ask our audience if you can also share your comments about what your favorite destination is. I'd love to hear more about it. I also have a poll on this. Well, related to this, what is your favorite reason for travel? I want to hear about it. And if you want to type in the chat box, what is your favorite destinations, or where do you want to go next? Would love to hear that or to read that in the chat box. But what's yours?
I have a top 3. We're very fortunate, Carlos. We get to travel and we get to see the world. So I can't ever pick a favorite, and it sounds too salesy if I say, well, the next place I get to go to. So I created a top 3, and in no particular order. I love Antarctica. I thought it really was like nothing else I'd ever could have even imagined. In my mind's eye, just could never picture it until I saw it. The Galapagos, living with these animals for the week and swimming and playing with the penguins, it was like nothing else. And then I also love France because I love shoes, cheese, and wine. So those are my top 3.
Okay, fair enough. And as you travel the world on board Silversea and get to experience all these destinations, what's included in your Silversea trip is very important for a lot of people. Silversea is a luxury brand, and kind of one of the most typical things about luxury cruises is they tend to be more inclusive than contemporary and kind of premium cruises. So, what is included in a typical Silversea cruise?
Everything's included. We have beautiful suites on board. We are all suite, all ocean front. So every suite has at least a window. The newer ships are all veranda. Then, of course, you've got lovely space inside that suite. We've got longer itineraries. So there's a walk-in closet for every single suite category, a butler for every single suite category. The average suite size at the entry level is 375 square feet. We include all of your shore excursions, gratuities, and beverages throughout the vessel, and in-suite bar as well. After you come back from that shore excursion, if you don't feel like shaking that martini yourself, the butler will come bring some snacks and shake that cocktail for you as well. We've got experiences throughout the vessel that are included, as well as maybe a movie night in your suite or the bubble bath experience. And throughout the vessel, we've got a lot of beautiful spaces, a lot of gathering spaces, quiet spaces, and fun spaces.
And I have the results from the poll, by the way, which is very interesting. I want to share this in a second as we continue to talk about inclusions on board Silversea. So, and Jen, and so being so inclusive, what would a guest have to basically expect that would have to be an additional cost when traveling with Silversea?
The spa, of course. The gift shops. I love gifts, by the way. They can buy me a gift there. And then we also have a shore excursion list that is available, which is our select excursions where guests can pay for. So some of those experiences may be a helicopter tour, or the salt excursions are not included. So those are the additional costs. We also have the connoisseur's wine list. If they don't like anything that's on that menu that's included, we also have additional wines for purchase. And we do also have 2 restaurants on some of the ships that are for an additional cost. Kaiseki, Seishin, or Ladam.
Okay, and what's so special about those restaurants?
They're very small, so it's a very intimate upscale setting. La Dame is our 6-course wine paired meal. It's an experience. It's not just a sit down, meal. It's really incredible from start to finish. Kaiseki is our Asian fusion, Japanese style of dining, small plates throughout. And Seishin is just the name of the original Kaiseki, so we kept it.
Okay. And why charge for those restaurants?
They are very small. La Dame in some of the on some of the ships only seats 28 guests. So we really want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to dine at those restaurants. By no way does the cover charge of $60 cover the cost of the meal. It really is a great way to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to enjoy the restaurant. But remember, you work with a fabulous consortia, and oftentimes your bookings come with shipboard credit that will cover that as well. So really that extra charge is
really not even perceived.
Yeah.
I completely understand and agree. We just to kind of compliment on that, with Luxury Cruise Connections, being part of the consortium, Virtuos Consortium, which is the largest luxury travel consortium in the world, and having a strategic, a key account status with Silversea really gives us the opportunity to enhance that vacation, or that package, and include some additional shipboard credit that, just like Jennifer's saying, can help cover for the spa, the gift you're going to bring back for Jennifer, or the select excursions, and or if you want to obviously indulge in one of these amazing restaurants, and there's a little bit more in terms of what's included in the price that we're going to talk about in just a second. But before we do that, I want to look. There's an entire conversation about culinary on board, right? But it also, I know it also varies a little bit based on the ships, the ships. So I want to talk about the fleet, and I want to talk about and kind of get the conversation going on the different dining options on board Silversea across your fleet.
So we offer up to 10 different dining venues on board, from pizza all the way to 6-course La Dame French paired meals. We offer restaurants that are reservation only and restaurants that are walk-in, so guests can really choose what they want to do. And remember, so many guests are planning these vacations months and months ahead of time, and that day they may be hungry for steak, but when they get on board they change their mind and they want Italian, and we allow room for that as well. We take reservations at 120 days prior to sail date, but if guests change their mind, which they often do, their butler will handle any changes once they get on the ship. There's also beautiful creative spaces throughout the vessel that are casual for dining, like the grill. So if guests change their mind again and don't want to dine inside and don't want to dress up, we do have casual options for every guest as well. We offer 24-hour in-room, in-suite dining. We offer the Arts Cafe, which is open very early and very late with bites. Italian food, we've got just any type of food you can imagine is available. I mean, I could go on and on.
Do you have, but kind of to tie it back to the fleet, are all those restaurants on every ship, or there's some ships that have different restaurants?
Now, when you're looking at our fleet, we're divided almost into 4 different categories of ships. We've got the Silver Whisper and the Silver Shadow, which were the very first ships to join our fleet. They're the smallest at 388 guests, and those ships feature 4 dining options. Then we've got the Moon class of ships, the Muse class of ships, and those 4 ships all feature up to 8 dining venues. And then the Ray and the Nova, which joined the fleet last year, and this coming June feature up to 10 dining venues. So really it varies by the size of ship. The expedition ships all feature at least 2 restaurants, if not 3.
And salt is available on which ships?
On the newer class of ships, starting with the Moon,
okay,
the Muse. No, excuse me, I'm sorry, I take that back. The Moon, the Dawn, the Ray, and the Nova.
Okay. Wait, the Moon, not in the Muse?
Not on the Muse. The Muse does not offer salt. Salt is offered starting with the Moon.
Starting with the Moon, okay.
Starting with the Moon, the Dawn, the Ray and the Nova.
And just in the last 3 years, or even 2 years, you guys have had a lot of ships delivered, right? Let me share this slide here with you guys. I think this is pretty impressive. Want to share a little bit about this?
Yes, these ships were all supposed to come out 1 year at a time, but because of that little interruption we had in service that lasted almost 3 years, we had to bring them all out at the same time. So the Moon introduced in June of 21, along with the Origin. Then 1 year later, we brought out the Silver Dawn, sister to the Moon and the Muse. Endeavor we purchased when Crystal had to sell the ship. And that was a terrific buy. They built a beautiful vessel. I think $1 million a berth. It's the most expensive expedition ship ever built. And then we've got the Nova, which debuted in August of last year, and the Ray coming this summer. So a lot of new capacity, a lot of new innovation. The Nova and the Ray are both fully sustainable. They have 3 different types of operating power with LNG, fuel cells, and shore power. So we're able to explore new waters with these 2 vessels that were before not accessible due to emissions loss. So she is fully sustainable, and we'll be able to plug her in power, and we'll be also adding the fuel cells so that we can get into some places that were in the past not accessible. So it's a wonderful opportunity to explore the world. I think with all of the ships that we've got in our fleet, the 4 different categories, the one thing that ties them all together is destination.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, you have, I think you have one of the newest fleets in the luxury space.
We have the newest fleet in the luxury.
That's a statistical fact.
Yes.
So for those that don't know this, Royal Caribbean acquired a big stake of Silversea before the pandemic. Royal Caribbean is obviously one of the largest cruise companies in the world, and when they acquired them, one of the first things that we were all kind of concerned about is, is Silversea going to lose their unique flair in the luxury space that they had? We didn't have enough time to think about that question enough. Pandemic came about, and then they decided to buy a grand majority stake, if not, I don't think it's 100%, but
it's 100%.
100% of Silversea, basically acquired the entire company. As the first step of the acquisition, Royal Caribbean Group had just released the Celebrity Flora ship, which was that ship in the Galapagos that they had. And they had a second ship coming. And when they acquired Silversea, they said, well, why don't we give Silversea the opportunity to take delivery of that second slot that we have for this amazing ship in the Galapagos, and they created the Silver Origin. Has the same hull of the Flora, but it's a completely different ship, and it's definitely by far the most luxurious ship in Galapagos. And this is it's a 50 suites. Am I
50
right?
suites, 100 guests. Yes.
Super intimate and just absolutely spectacular, right? But what's interesting is, as you launched the Muse, which was, I think, in 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
April of 2017 for the Muse.
Really? Wow. Well, imagine. So when you launched the Muse, our clients were already raving about that ship. I mean, I had clients call me and say, wow, this was just spectacular. This is beautiful. Literally, just within a few years later, the Moon, the Dawn, amazing, beautiful ships introducing salt, and now the Nova. And now, I mean, what you guys did with the Nova, and we just had DJ came back from with you. We were talking about it before some of our guests were joining today. You guys really went a little crazy on that one. Like,
I love it. I love that description because it's just so different than any other cruise ship out there. We've really taken the destination into consideration. And like I said, you're going to hear me say that word a lot. But even when you're on this vessel, you're going to feel like you're at the destination. Floor to ceiling windows. We have windows in the elevator. So you're taking a ride up and down, going from deck 4 to deck 11, and you're seeing the ocean. We were on just boarding the ship and we saw a huge turtle right from the elevator, right down on the
No
water
way.
below. We've pushed the pool over to the edge, making the view the destination, not just the other side of the pool. So we're really inviting the destination onto the ship. She is the ship of light with all of those floor to ceiling windows. Art is beautiful to look at, but what better way to go around the ship and just see where you're at and see where you're going to spend your day. It's a really innovative way to design a cruise ship where we're taking out that middle and really pushing everything to the edge.
So DJ was telling me that you basically have the only um, auditorium, I guess, for your shows and events or whatever, that actually has windows
Yes, it
because
has
you
light.
basically push to one of the side of the ship, and you have a bar up in the pool deck that is actually facing the ocean. So like the pool is not in the middle, is on the other edge of the ship. How cool is that?
So before, if you remember, you've been around for as long as I have. You know that in luxury, it was really about unseen service, right? You would want your drink, but nobody cared to see where it was being made. The bar wasn't a place where luxury guests wanted to hang out. They just wanted a drink. But that's evolved. That's changed. The guests want to be a part of the fun at the bar. And it's a beautiful space. You're sitting at the bar. We have really cool cocktail making classes that take place there. The waiters are mixologists. They've really become engaging and engage the guests to participate, which is a really cool way to experience luxury.
Amazing. And where's the Nova going to be this year?
So right now she is doing her Grand South America voyage. Once she is done, she will cross the canal one more time and head up north to Alaska. So
Wow.
she will be one of our local destinations for this summer. Brand new ship in a really great destination that needs to be seen. And what better way to see it than from the decks of a Silversea ship?
And so I'm surprised you didn't take it to Europe. Why is that?
Because we've got the Ray coming out this summer. So we've
Ah,
got the Ray. We do have the biggest deployment in the Mediterranean, of course. So we've got beautiful med voyages, and we've got the Ray. And then we decided to bring the Nova so that a lot of people can see her. And what better destination than Alaska?
beautiful, beautiful. How's the Ray doing for the Met season? Is it already full or you still have some space?
We still have some space here and there, so we've got some great voyages that we can, I'm sure you're going to highlight and share on a brand new ship on her inaugural season. I can't say enough about the destinations that we traveled to, but to do it on a brand new ship makes it all the more special.
So you're right. I was gonna highlight a couple of these. Let's talk about the Met season. Ray is doing this Athens round trip. This is a little bit toward the tail end of the season, but we have availability on this October 12th, 11 nighter or 11 day on the Silver Ray, which looks really nice. And your Met season in general, I mean, we have a couple of real cool ships in the Met season. You have the Moon as well. So we have availability on this one doing also Athens round trip, right?
Yep, and remember, like I said before, we're in the best places to be at the best time to be there, and the med season keeps extending. Every year it becomes one voyage longer, one voyage longer. This year we go into November. I was there last year in November, and the weather was terrific. It was a great way to explore. It's not as full, so not as many people are there at the tail end of the season, and the weather was still spectacular. So when you're looking at some of these voyages that are either on the start or on the end, it's the best time to go because it's not as traveled yet. So when we're looking at these March and April voyages, not as hot yet, you can explore, you can be outdoors. And then the tail end in November, also a great way to see these destinations in a little bit cooler weather.
Here's a November itinerary. So I'm actually going to be, I realized that this one, the Moon is going to be, I'm actually going to be in Syros this summer in July, though. I'm going to be there for about a month. My brother lived in Syros for a month and a half last year, loved that little island. Almost no ships go there. Like nobody goes there. And it's a beautiful little island in Greece. I mean, definitely I hadn't seen any. I mean, I'm sure there's a few more that I just hadn't noticed, but I hadn't seen any other itinerary doing zero. So that's pretty cool.
When I did it in 2021, we did Syros, Paros, Patmos, and none of those islands had any other ships that day. We were
Yeah.
the only ship in port. And you know what happens when you have multiple ships? We stress the infrastructure of the destination just a bit. Sometimes we're doubling their population, but with one ship, you have more access to shore excursions, you have more access to restaurants, more access to shopping. So one ship of one is definitely got its advantages.
Sure, and these are islands that don't have a huge tourism infrastructure, which is a positive in my book because you get to actually explore the island a little bit more like a local and kind of see how people actually live there. Um, and it's not flooded with tourist traps and all that stuff. So I like that. I see that a lot of what we're talking about has to do with Greece, of course. Why did you want to highlight Greece so much, Jennifer?
Well, we've had to have some itinerary changes due to the geopolitical issues that are happening on that side of the world, but people are still traveling. I know that some other cruise lines just canceled altogether. We decided to move to this part of the world because look how many islands and how many places we're able to sail to there. And a lot of those are new ports of call for Silversea as well. So we're giving guests that maybe have been to the region new places to call on for their vacation without having to cancel their thoughts on going there for the summer because it's safe, because it's a beautiful place to be. And the Med is a wonderful place that time of year with a lot of enrichment and a lot of history.
Okay, good. Thank you for sharing that. I was because that was going to be my next question in terms of like what had happened with those itineraries that were visiting the Middle East, and I guess those are the ones that many of these turned into these. So most of what we're showing today here are itineraries that were, I guess, recently shifted, recently kind of redeployed into this itineraries, and that's why you have some extra availability, which is good. I know a lot of people are still like, we are getting flooded with requests of people looking to kind of finalize their summer plans. So for those of you guys that are still looking to put something in your schedule for the summer, these are great opportunities for sure. And I agree with you. Beginning or end of the season for me are the favorite. Bernardo just shot a question up in the chat box, and actually it's a great segue for my next question, which is I wanted to talk about pricing in general with Silversea. To give a little bit of a background here, Silversea has two types of pricing offering. Okay, there is the all-inclusive price offering, and there is a stripped down cruise only price offering. Okay. My perception, Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, keep me real here. The majority of people book the all-inclusive option because it's just one easy, hands-off. You get picked up from home, taken to the airport, then to your destination, picked up at the airport, to the hotel or ship, and same thing on the way back, right? And that is what Silversea calls door to door. And then there is a promotional offer, okay? So kind of to segue from what Lisa's asking, there is a promotional offer called the port to port. Jennifer, can you explain the port to port, please?
Port to port is your traditional cruise only offering. No air is offered, no hotel, no transfers. It's really, truly just your cruise only. And of course, on the ship, the same inclusions apply. You've got your gratuities, your butler, your shore excursions, everything on the Silversea cruise that's included on door to door is included on the cruise portion with port to port, just not the pre and the post transfers, transportation, air, and such. On the door to door, we include all of that. The air is economy. And you also have the option to upgrade to business class for an add-on.
Okay.
On the expedition side, if you're looking at maybe the Galapagos or Antarctica, the international flights are not included. So you'd have to make your way from Miami to Santiago, Chile. But from there, those in-country flights are included. So we'll take you, on port to port and door to door. So those international flights, not included, but what we call in-country flights. So for example, in the Galapagos, the flight from Quito to San Cristobal, those are included regardless of the fare code that you book.
let me clarify that for a second. On door-to-door Galapagos itineraries, international flights are not included?
They are, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Door to door always includes the international flights. Port to port
That's what I thought.
does
I just
not
wanted to
include
clarify.
international flights.
Perfect. So this little picture that I put up in your screens, it helps us depict this a little bit better. Okay. So Silversea is the only cruise line I know that offers private executive transfers from home within a distance of, I think 50 miles, 52 miles from the airport.
Yeah, 52 miles.
And then they take you to the airport, international flights, like Jen said, that's an economy, although they often have very strong business class promo upgrades. Okay. Then if the hotel includes a I'm sorry, if the cruise package includes a pre-hotel stay, then transferred as well to the ship, same thing on the way back and all the way to home. And then when you are looking at the port to port, you're basically stripping down everything and leaving this only all-inclusive cruise part of the package. Again, like Jen said, with the exception of those Galapagos where the domestic flight is also, because the package includes a domestic flight, so those are included even on the port to port. I know that this can be a little complex for those that have never booked the Silversea Cruise before, but again, that's why you have us here at Luxury Cruise Connections. We can help you dissect this. We do this every single day of our lives, so we know exactly what would be the best option for you. And this is a great segue as well to talking about promotions, because I'm sure we got a whole bunch of people excited about booking a Silversea cruise. And so why don't we tell our audience a little bit of what's going on with Silversea now, and what offers are out there, both for the general public as well for those that attended today's event.
We've got great savings. So there are 4,000 reasons to sail with Silversea this wave season, $2,000 per person savings on all door-to-door bookings, and $1,000 savings per person on port-to-port. We also have a reduced deposit right now of 15% versus our 25%. And then, of course, we've got the event for the next 2 weeks. You can also save an additional 500% combinable with our promotion and any other promos available on the voyage you select.
So let me give our audience even more context here. Silversea has a very good and robust revenue team. And these guys are sitting in front of their computers looking at data every single day. And their sole purpose is to raise those prices throughout the year. This is a fact. I can say it because I've seen it happening. All right. Jen said wave season. Some of you guys might know what that means. Some of you guys might not know what that means. But wave season is kind of the first 3 months of the year within our industry. We call it wave season because it is the period of time within the year where most people book cruises. Okay? And so some of the strongest promotions in this entire industry will happen within this first 3 months of the year. January, February being probably the strongest, and then they start dimming down in March. Why does that happen? Because as we cross over March, that is the first points where all cruise lines, especially Silversea, because that's literally part of their MO, is they're going to raise prices. Then come Q2, they're going to raise prices again, and Q3, they're going to raise prices again. There are promotions throughout the year, but Silversea is extremely friendly to make sure that you're always taking advantage of the best value. And so what I always like to tell every single one of my clients, customers, friends, family is fall in love with the suite, the destination, and the cruise, and take advantage of whatever promotion you have right now, because it's not going to get any better. And if it does, we'll adjust it. But the idea is people in the Silversea community are booking their suites very far out. And most of the times, the bigger and better suites are the first ones to go, right? So if you're interested in one of these promotions, you should know that if there's ever a good time to book, it's always as soon as possible. It's always as far out as you can from the date. Right now, like Jen said, that $2,000 per guest, up to $4,000 savings on Silversea was not there last month in December, was not there. Up to $1,000 in the sport to port, again, was not there last month. And again, that's on port to port promotions. That 15% reduced deposit, that's an evergreen promotion, right? That's always there, right? But then it's from the best price, from the whatever price is there. So as prices go up, that 15%, it's less. Well, it's not less, but it's a higher price every single time because the prices are going up. And this consumer event offer, this $500 savings, is only for the next 2 weeks. Okay, so it's February 1st, next 2 weeks. You have the option to take advantage of those $500 savings, but you should know that those $500 savings are specifically meant for new bookings. Okay, so again, if you booked before, you probably took advantage of last year's pricing or previous pricing. So Silversea created this exclusive $500 savings for us specifically to incentivize our audience of today's event to book a new cruise. Okay, it is important for you guys to know this. Being very upfront and blunt about this, we do want you to book another cruise. So with Silversea. So this is so that you have a little bit of extra incentive to do so.
And something I wanted to share, Carlos, before I forget, you have a sales team that works with you and for you at Silversea. So not only myself, but you also have Audrey and the inside sales team. So if any of you have any questions that we can address with you one-on-one, we are more than happy to jump on a call, just like this, just with you, so you can get all of your questions about the specific itinerary that you're looking at. Carlos and his team will make that possible, so that we can make sure that you completely understand the offering and the product, so that you make the right decision and sail with Silversea.
Exactly. By the way, this slide, you guys are going to get that in your email that we're going to send tomorrow. So don't worry about taking a print screen of it. You're going to get this summarized for you tomorrow in that email. I want to go straight to a few questions that I see in the chat. I will go back to Bernard's and Lisa's questions about your promotion. So just hang on for a second. Just bear with us. Sonia was commenting about Chris and the new ownership of Crystal. I'm looking for a luxury line. Great. And will Silversea match Crystal status?
We are all-inclusive, door-to-door. So the status we can't match, right? But there are certain little things that we can do because we're so different. But if you had already earned complimentary laundry with Crystal, we can make that happen if it's not already included in the suite. With our suite designations, we have the veranda categories, and then we have the upper suites. All upper suites, silver and above, include laundry. And I think really that's the only VIP perk that all Crystal guests got. We'll match it regardless of category that you've booked if you were a Crystal cruiser before.
I think it's important for everybody to know that every single accommodation on board Silversea is a suite. Every single suite has a butler. Every single correct me if I'm wrong, but my perception is every bathroom is marble bathrooms, right?
They're all very beautiful. We're not into the opulence of the chandeliers and all of that. That's not Silversea. We're more of a whispered luxury is what Barbara likes to call it. But the bathrooms are very large. They're the size of a standard hotel. This isn't a cruise cabin. It is really, truly a cruise suite.
Right. So I think that's a very important highlight. And again, by the way, kind of going back to what Jen is saying, because of this relationship that Luxury Cruise Connections has with Silversea, we're able to really take that experience to another level, right? So if your clients come from a different cruise line, or if your clients have this very particular taste or need or whatever, this is where we are able to really customize that experience, and take it to another level. Jen, I take this opportunity to ask you a question. Would there be any reason why anybody would want to book direct with Silversea?
There's no additional benefit. The only the downside is that you're not getting the expertise on the destination from the travel advisor. Those folks that work for Silversea, of course, they know the ship in and out, but there's a lot more that goes into the cruise. That destination piece is really, really important, and there's no benefit to booking direct. I'd say the opposite, because they don't have access to those consortia amenities and ultimately the expertise of the advisor that more than likely has been to that destination.
Understood. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. Joanne is asking, can you talk about VIP or virtuoso status and what those benefits are? And if we refer friends, are there discounts or perks? Okay, there's a two-fold question there. Let's talk about the virtuoso amenities and what do clients get by booking to Luxury Cruise Connections being a virtuoso agency?
You have access to shipboard credit that is not available to anyone else. And then there are a few other things that they can pick from if they don't want the shipboard credit, which 99% choose that. There's a car and driver option in some ports, or a cocktail party, depending on the type of voyage that it is for Virtuoso.
I'll expand on that even more. Virtuoso, because of the relationship with Virtuoso, even though Luxury Cruise Connections is a large agency, it basically allows all of us Virtuoso agencies to pull together and create this kind of agreement with Silversea, where we get certain dates in the year where we have either what we call a Virtuoso date or a Virtuoso hosted date. The Virtuoso date basically is just usually shipboard credit, and a Virtuoso hosted date are dates where our clients get a choice of either an exclusive excursion or a private car and driver or shipboard credit. You can choose, but you also get a host on board, and you also get a private cocktail, and so forth and so on. So a little bit more of an intimate experience as well. And that's something that only happens when you book through a Virtuoso agency like us. And then there is the referral program. So we can maybe use this opportunity to talk just a little bit about the referral program that Silversea has.
The referral program is amazing. If you've already sailed with Silversea, you can refer a friend. You don't have to sail at the same time. Each will receive $500 savings, combinable with all current promotions. So your friend is sailing now, they can use their $500 for that voyage. You can save yours as the referring guest for the next time you sail.
Do they have to, they have to have sailed with Silversea before, right?
Correct. They have to have sailed. They can't be new booked. There is no referral for new booking being made by a new to Silversea. They have to be a past guest.
Right. So if I have 3 or 4 or 5 people traveling together, what options do we have? Like
you can refer up to 5 suites, and each suite will receive the $500 savings.
Okay. We can also do a group. If we have a group of friends traveling together, we can also do a group, which we can provide additional amenities as well, right?
Yes, we provide a shipboard credit amenity for groups. So if you've got a group of friends that are all traveling together, they will receive that amenity. Just remember, this is where it gets a little tricky. They're not combinable with the consortia amenity. So we're getting into the weeds with that, but there will be an amenity of shipboard credit, and then the tour conductor credit if they earn it as well. So again, getting into the weeds, but book your friends will give you something.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that's also a good opportunity to highlight that throughout the year, because we're a key account, and because of this special relationship, Silversea will come to us and say, hey, we can't advertise this on our website. We can't really, dilute our pricing to the public. But if you have clients that might be interested in selling in this and this and this and this date, we can offer this very special, secret, non-published discount or promotion to your clients. So be in the lookout. There's none of that is going on right now. Sorry for that. None of those are going on right now, but this is what we have. What we showed you on the screen a second ago is the best promotion that there is. But if at any point in time we have any of those, we'll be sharing those with our audience also very soon. The other question that I have here is, Average age of clients, singles, what level of fitness does one need for your trips?
The average age of our guests has really kind of shifted post-pandemic. We're getting a lot of new to Silversea and a lot of new to cruise. A lot of folks that had never cruised before, because of the ease of travel, because of having a one-stop shop for air, transfers, everything. It's really changed the dynamic. Our average age is 55. I say for expedition for expedition especially, if you can do 2 flights of stairs and play a round of golf, you're perfect for Silversea. With every excursion, we give an activity level. So we have, city tours that are on a bus, city tours that are walking, and then we have extensive hikes and different types of shore excursions available. On board, anything flies. You can just sit by the pool, enjoy the view, and enjoy a cocktail.
There you go. Obviously, if you're doing one of the expedition ships, maybe the fitness level it's recommended for it to be a little higher, of course, because you're getting on ice and you're getting, right?
Yeah, you are. But I have had guests sail that are wheelchair bound. The trick was getting them. For example, I had a guest and we sent her pictures of everything. How you actually get off the plane in San Cristobal. You walk onto the tarmac, and we were able to make it happen. She just wanted to see her children on
Enjoy
the
it.
ship. She did not get off the vessel, but we can make certain accommodations depending on the guest fitness level. I sailed to Antarctica with my family. We were 10, ages 15 to 75, and my mom was able to get on and off the Zodiac and take the leisure walk every day.
Yes.
She got to land on the peninsula and do the walks. We did the 2-hour hike. So there's always the activity level groups that we're divided into.
Fantastic. Bernard was asking about the flights. We talked about it, but just to highlight it one more time, flights are included on those door-to-door fares. Economy flights are, and then there's an option to upgrade to business class. Also, usually, with a promotional fares, it really comes out very, I guess, beneficial to the guests to use Silversea Air. But if you don't want to use it, there's also a credit just in case you want to use your miles or something like that. And Bernard was asking also, if home is more than 50 miles away from closest airport, what can you do?
So the guests will receive an email directly from Blacklane to make their booking for the transfers. And anything over 52 miles, they can pay for right there on the website. We're already paying for the 52 miles, so any overage due would come from the guest. And the overage, there isn't a certain amount per mile. It's based on day of week and time of day for travel. So if it's 10 miles over and it's on a Tuesday, it may vary from 10 miles over on a Friday at 10 p.m.
Okay. And then Robert sent me a direct message. Robert, I'll get back to you right after. He's telling me that he booked a 2026, February 2026 30-day cruise with us. Robert will follow up with you on your question via Derek after the event. We got you. We'll figure something out. And then Beth, why are there certain suites available on door-to-door cruises, but the same suites not offered on port-to-port? It's a good question.
The veranda categories are what's available with the port-to-port, because with the door-to-door option, if you just want the cruise only, you can take the credits. There's going to be some changes to the fare codes coming March 1st. So in 1 month, we'll have updated fare codes so we can do this again and really talk deeper about the fare codes. For now, door-to-door, you can take an air credit, you can take a Blacklane credit and make it cruise only. With port-to-port, it is only available as of right now on the veranda categories. Upper suites, you'd have to do door-to-door and take the credits.
I think, Beth, a good explanation to that could also be the fact that the higher suites, the bigger suites, they go first. So Silversea doesn't really need to push big discounts and promotions on those. And they have so few of them that maybe that's why it doesn't make a lot of sense, while they have so many more verandas that usually take a little longer to sell out. And so that port-to-port is a little bit, while it's basically a stripped down version of the door-to-door, it also has a little bit of an extra discount on it. So they only do that on those smaller suites. Is that a good explanation as well?
It's a very good explanation. The best way to remember is that the cruise ship always sells top to bottom. The top level suites always go first, and then we work our way to the entry level veranda category suites.
So Lisa Hawkins was asking also about seaborne benefits for her loyalty. And again, Lisa, just like Jen is saying, Silversea really doesn't have a lot of like loyalty benefits in terms of like additional stuff, because there's not a lot more that can be included in your experience because everything is so inclusive already.
But we're the most inclusive luxury cruise line out there. I know that some of the other cruise lines are still charging for Wi-Fi. It's included. So all of those benefits that you may have earned with your previous cruise line, including the contemporaries, are part of the package that you're getting with Silversea already.
Right. And so what Jen is saying, like if you're not staying in one of the named suites that already includes laundry, then if that is the benefit that you would have gotten via your status on another cruise line, you want to try Silversea, she'll make it happen so that you get that laundry taken care of as well. And again, you know, that's thanks to the relationship that we have with Silversea. That's the type of stuff that she'll do for us to you know, make our guests happy, I guess. John's asking, is there a dress code for any of the dining venues?
There is, and this is also changing. It's rolling out ship by ship for training purposes. So as it stands, all of the ships, with the exception of the Nova, we do have a dress code. We have casual, informal, and formal nights. Casual nights, khaki, for the gentleman is really who's affected. Us ladies, we can get away with almost anything, but the casual nights, open collar and slacks, informal, sport coat, and the formal nights, jacket and tie. Every single night, regardless of vessel, will always feature a casual dining venue. In most cases, it's going to be the Grill and La Terrazza. Other than that, if a guest wants to dine at any of the other restaurants, on the informal and formal nights, they'll be required that jacket. La Dame always requires at least a sport coat.
Okay. And
mouthful. On the Nova, it's
yes,
a casual dress code, formal optional. Always jacket required at La Dame. Super simple.
and that's for the Nova and Expedition, right? Expedition is
Yes.
also more laid back.
Expedition is casual, but I'll tell you something, and maybe, you know, I'm sure DJ also noticed on the Nova, the formal nights were optional, but everyone dressed up. The guests love
Like-
it. And guests that don't, there were a few, felt
If-
comfortable because they were casual.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I hear you guys are testing this and kind of trying to gauge, you know, what your guest reaction is to having a little bit of a less formal. You know, I think eventually that's going to be the trend. I mean, I'm obviously, you know, the world, I guess, has become a little bit less dressy, I guess. And while there's, of course, I mean, there is a good amount of people that will continue to enjoy dressing up for the evening and so forth. I know my wife, for example, loves to dress up when we go out for dinner and so forth. And so, you know, I think the important part is making everybody feel comfortable. And, you know, if it's optional, but people still dress up and people, you know, those that don't still feel comfortable. I think that's the winner combination there, but time will tell.
I'll tell you, in my almost 7 years at Silversea, I heard always, we need more casual. We need more casual. We brought it onto the Nova, and people still dress up. You know, it's a night. I love to dress up, and I was expecting more casual. And when I wore my sequins, and there were people that were dressed up. I think it's a nice opportunity to get away from the normal. Like my husband's a contractor. It's the only time he gets to wear his suits, which he loves. So on these ships with the new dress code, do as you wish. You have the option, it's there. And if you want to be casual, you can do that as well. Just enjoy your time on board.
Patty's asking, do you have many singles, or is it mostly couples or groups?
We do tend to have a larger number of singles. We do offer gentlemen hosts. So if you love to dance, we have that there. These gentlemen hosts help us guide shore excursions during the day, and they're there to have cocktail parties with. We have a solo gathering on every voyage. Every night they get together. It varies by ship, varies by destination, but we do tend to carry a higher number of solos.
Interesting. Not a lot of groups though. You do carry some multi-generational groups, especially in the summer, where I see the grandmother taking the grandkids, and everybody in between to Alaska or the Med.
Believe it or not, that's shifting, Carlos. I was in Antarctica, and I had a multi-gen group with my kids and my nieces and nephews. There was another family on board with younger kids. So we're starting to see the trend kind of go beyond the traditional Alaska and the Med season. These are well-traveled children. When I say a family, when I say a group of kids, it's maybe 4, maybe 6. We don't carry many guests, so you're not going to see 45 children running around.
Right.
And they are very well traveled. I mentioned earlier I traveled to the Galapagos, and Teddy was on board. He was 9 years old. The crew loved having him on board, and he was probably the smartest person on the ship. He asked the very best questions. So one child, maybe 2, but that kid, Teddy, had already been to all 7 continents.
I'm just imagining my kids on board. Okay, my kids are well traveled, they're just not well behaved. So I'm not being
Well, my youngest is 21, and I don't know if I'd bring him because I'm laughing the same way you are, I could imagine.
Anyway, okay, good. Do we have any more questions? I ran out of questions in the chat, so I wanna make sure that we've covered everybody's questions, and if there's anything else that you guys want to know. I mean, Jen, she's super available. Believe it or not, even being how busy she is, she makes herself very available to us. And if there's any additional questions or anything else that you come up with after the event that you're like, oh, I should have asked that and forgot, you feel free to reply back to the invitation you got to the event. If you already have an advisor within our agency, feel free to ask him or her. And if we don't know the answer, then we know exactly who to call and ask. But Jen, obviously being so long within Silversea and being part of those executive meetings at Silversea, she has some insider information that sometimes I wish I had, and now she's here sharing it with us, so might as well take advantage of it. Yeah, and that's all I have in the chat. Anybody else wants to kind of unmute and maybe ask something else? Patty, did we cover all your questions? Do you mind if I spotlight you for a second? And
No, I'll talk.
so what did you think? Is this something that you think you would enjoy?
I think I might. I've got to look into more. It just popped up on my screen about 5 minutes before you were going to do it. I thought, okay, let's see what this is about.
Well, I'm glad you joined. Did you like it? Did you find it entertaining? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We had a bank here that used to take a lot of seniors, and they'd organize everything. It was door to door.
Okay.
And we went a lot of places with that, and they took care of everything, absolutely everything. And it was wonderful. But with COVID, they canceled our South Africa trip, and they haven't been back doing anything out of the country. So that's sort of what you're talking about, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, if you think this is something that might be up your alley, meaning you would enjoy a Silversea cruise, we'd be happy to help you put it together. And again, the way we work as an agency is we're a one-stop shop, right? And working with Silversea makes that even easier because their fares are so inclusive. But the idea is we want to cater and just create the entire experience so that you don't have to do anything. And the good thing, something that I didn't even get a chance to share with our audience today is we don't work as a call center. You don't, like, when you call in, you're not just talking to anybody. You actually create a one-to-one relationship with one of our advisors. And there is a concierge team that works also behind the scenes. Not so much behind the scenes, actually. They participate in the entire process very actively, so that it's not just booking the cruise, but also helping you put together everything else around it, from booking the excursions to your paperwork, your visas, your any additional extensions or transfers or anything else you might need, to restaurant reservations. Just those little things that really make that trip that much more memorable. And that's part of what we offer. I guess is one of the things that makes us as an agency a little bit unique as well, is because we are focused in luxury cruises, we can afford to create the infrastructure to cater to luxury guests. And so that's a little bit about us as well. So looking forward to helping you replan that South Africa trip.
Maybe.
Well, thank you for
It
joining.
sounds a little daunting right now. There's, they talk about leaving at 5 a.m. and just the whole, I'm not sure I want to go to South Africa. I think we'll pick someplace else.
Okay. Well, you mean 5 a.m, meaning the in the parks?
To leave, to get to the park, to see the animals early, and then like as we get older, we think about how many bathrooms do you have on a safari?
Listen, I've been on safari twice, and
Yeah.
what you want to do, maybe you don't do like a lot of stops on the cruise in South Africa. You can do one of those starting in or ending in South Africa, and we can put together a 3 or 4 night post where you can actually put you in one of the luxury safari lodges, and you'd be amazed. Like, those safari lodges in South Africa are some of the fanciest accommodations you'll ever experience in your life,
Yes,
by far. I think
yes,
Ilda is participating there. Talk to us, Ilda. You've been there?
yes, I
What's your
have.
experience?
Fabulous, fabulous. Most luxurious hotels, most incredible service, absolutely wonderful.
Excellent. When did you go, Ilda?
I was there 14 years ago, a long time ago, and I think things are even better now.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
But I
they are.
do have one question. Why does Silversea use such horrible flights? I am booked on a cruise out of Lima, and I have to fly from Florida or Fort Lauderdale to New York and New York to Lima. That doesn't make sense.
It's because of the contracts that we have.
I know.
While
I know.
Mhm.
I worked in travel, so I know, but I think those are terrible contracts.
They are, but air schedules right now are so difficult and so limited. I could give you a million examples, but work with the team. They may be able to find something that's a little bit more suitable. The only thing is, because of the limited contracts, there may be a fare overage that you'd have to cover. That's the caveat.
Well, yes,
Did you make that booking through our agency?
I did.
Okay. And when are you departing?
March 27th, because I'm doing the Machu Picchu tour before the cruise.
Okay, fantastic. So this is what we're gonna do. As soon as we're done with this event, I'm gonna have somebody from my team reach out to you directly, and then we'll reach out to Jen and look at your flights. And if there's anything that we can do, we'll make it happen.
That would be wonderful. I have spoken to Marco about it because
Okay.
Marco has been the one who has taken care of me, and he has done a great job. I'm
Good.
new to your company. I am Canadian, so I spend part of my life in Florida and part in Canada. And so this was a perfect opportunity for me to do the west coast of South America. And when I saw the flights, I was floored. So I called Marco. I said, Marco, these are terrible flights. Well, he said, this is, again, the story of the contracts. And
Yeah.
I'm aware of those. But there has to be a better way for a company like Silversea.
Well, first of all, I want you to know that I'm glad you brought it up, because listen, you're talking straight to Jen, and she's the one that's gonna make this. Is gonna. Sorry, I'm putting you
Well,
on.
we'll do our best.
You're gonna try.
Yeah,
Right,
this
you'll try.
close-in is difficult, but it's so limiting with the way the airlines cut schedules. I know, especially in the Galapagos, there used to be a flight at 11:30 out every night, and they cut that. So for a while, guests were having to spend the night in Guayaquil and fly out the next day because they cut that schedule. And some of these routes are just so airline specific. Some airlines don't travel to those destinations. So we're pairing up the best flights with what we have available. As of maybe 4 months ago, we did start working with the Royal Caribbean contracts. They have access to many, many more contracts that we did not. So that opened up a world of airlines that we're able to book. But maybe when you booked, this was what was best and what was available at that time.
Okay, well, if it can be improved, my name is Hilda Yaffe, and I did book with Marco.
Fantastic.
And I think this is my second cruise with Marco in the last 6 months. So I
Great.
hope to be a good client.
Of course. Elda, thank you very much for the loyalty and for giving us an opportunity to take care of you, and trust that we will follow up with you after the call and try to figure something out. We'll do our best. That's
Okay, thank you. That's all you can do. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. Well, this is great. Way to put Jennifer on the spot right there. I love it.
I hope I can deliver. This is big for me. I'm already thinking of 17 people that I'm going to email.
Well, I'm gonna put you more on the spot. You delivered every single other time, so I couldn't expect any less from you this time around. Just kidding. I know sometimes it's just impossible, but I'm sure you'll do your best. All right, amazing. Do we have any other questions, any other comments? Anybody else wants to share a personal experience? Anything else that you want to talk about? This is when going
So
one. Yes.
I'll go ahead. I'll volunteer over here,
Yes.
Carlos. So, being on the Nova, I had that lucky opportunity. I cannot imagine that ship when it's going to be in Alaska. I think that's going to be one of the best Alaskan cruise vacations you could ever dream of. The way that the windows, the light, the way that you're going to be able to wake up with the views just everywhere that you see. I think that's going to be one of the best cruises that you can book right now.
So DJ, those that are just listening to him, he is the one that we were talking about earlier that was with Jen on board the Nova doing an itinerary from somewhere to Manta.
We're
Yeah.
Cozumel to Manta.
Cozumel to Manta. And he's one of the very first people, I guess, well, one of the first from our agency that had an opportunity to experience the ship. We actually we recorded an interview yesterday, DJ and I. So if you follow our YouTube channel, which I highly recommend you do, by the way, Denise, if you can post our social media channels in the chat so that our audience can follow us. But if you follow us on our YouTube channel, you're gonna see a full interview that I did with DJ just yesterday. We recorded it yesterday, should be up in the next couple of weeks, talking about the Nova. But since I know not everybody's gonna follow us on YouTube, do you want to share your 2 cents on the Nova, DJ, aside from the beautiful views and so forth?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the cool things about the Nova that I would say is going to be the asymmetrical layout and design. It just makes everything on board flow much easier. So you'll notice the first thing I would say when it comes to like the restaurants, they're on different levels, like 3, 4, and 5, but you'll be able to walk through all these areas. You'll have like the Arts Cafe, you'll have a bunch of different places in between. So it's just like the flow and layout of the Nova is really cool. And the next thing would be the size of the ship. And that's something that I don't know if it was mentioned, but it is the largest of the Silversea fleet. And that does scare some people, but you'll notice on board that it also has the highest space to guest ratio. So it feels like there's even less guests on board than the other, ships in the fleet. So I thought that was a very interesting tip.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's a good point. And this image that we have in your background is the pool area on board the Nova, right?
Yes, that is the Nova. That's one of my favorite pictures.
A great shot.
Thank you for sharing, DJ.
Thank you, DJ. Say hi to your mom.
I will.
We love Denise.
My mom was a hit on board, that's for sure.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And I want to remind everybody that this conversation, this event is being recorded, and we're gonna send a recap of this tomorrow. It's gonna be in your inboxes. And feel free to share this with your family and friends, your neighbors, anybody that watches today's event is going to be eligible to receive that $500 event discount, which is applicable with basically everything. And Jen, is it also applicable with the port-to-port discount?
No, only door to door.
Okay, yes. I just wanted to clarify that. But it's a very nice opportunity to For those that are, if you have friends that are wondering whether or not Silversea is the right cruise or the right ship for you, send them this video because I'm sure, hopefully they'll enjoy it. They'll find us entertaining, but most importantly, they'll learn about Silversea and be able to make an educated decision. I think that's the most important thing about planning, is to be well informed, and know that what you're booking is the right thing for you. So, with that, I want to thank Jen for your time and your partnership and your friendship and always being so available and making things happen for us. I truly appreciate what you do for us and for our guests. And I want to thank all of our audience that participated in today's event. Again, for those that, Lisa, listen, Lisa was just commenting on the chat, pretty disappointed now that you say only for door to door, meaning that the $500 is not available for the port to port. Lisa, if you're planning to book a port to port after today's event, I promise we will make something happen. We'll figure something out. If it's not exactly that, we'll figure something out, but I will not let you be disappointed. I promise you that. So just let us know what you're interested in. We'll make something happen for you. Okay? You got it. And I want to thank everybody that joined today's event and really truly appreciate the opportunity to get to know Jen, to get to know me, to get to know our company, to get to know more about Silversea. We do these events every so often. We don't get to do it with Silversea every single month. I wish we had time to do so, but know that anytime that you are interested in learning more about Silversea, you can call any one of our advisors, and you'll get the information and questions answered as you need. And with that, I want to say goodbye to everybody and hope to see you soon in the next one.
Thank you
Jennifer.
so much, Carlos. Thank you. We're in the get to business. We get to do this and we get to do this together. So thank you for your partnership.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you all for joining. See you soon.
Contact us at luxurycruiseconnections.com.